there. Welcome to Healthy Cooking with your friendly Italians. We're back after a cold winter. I'm here with, I'm Jim Bero, and
I'm Marilyn Bero, and we're glad to be back, but we were glad to be away this winter.
And we're going to be talking about our favorite subject, food. And we have special guests
We do.
With us. We got some recipes. We're going to be talking about what's happening in the community, and we'll go from there. Our special guest, let's start out with a drum roll. Special guest from the Gould Hotel. We have Sharon Hoatland, who is the sales,
Hoatland, yes.
who is the sales manager, and executive chef Chris
Kuhns.
Kuhns. So they're here with us, and we're going to be talking to them about the new menus, the renovation, and what a wonderful place the Gould Hotel is, and what they have to offer.
We should be so proud that we have a hotel like the Gould in the middle of our small community that does so many things for the community. And Sharon, you're involved in many projects and many community kinds of things. So it's wonderful, and I hope that you'll all support the good work that the Gould does and what it brings to our community.
We go there every Wednesday night. We have a hell of a good time. And good food.
I can attest to that.
Yes, Sharon's been there.
Yeah, we're lucky, and as this community, and I've said this to you before, not many communities have this kind of establishment and
Right.
have this monument, if you will, that means so much to the history of Seneca Falls. And as I've said, many times I've started with, when I first got here, I'd meet families. They say, oh, my grandmother and grandfather celebrated their 50th anniversary
Right.
here. And then I met their parents, or then the children, and then I've met the
Right.
ones that are going to have babies. I've gone through already in 3 years a couple of generations of events that we've had with the families of the community. So the Gould is very fortunate too, because we have great people that love us, like you two, which we really appreciate. But we do a lot of fun things to try to be involved, and we should be involved in the community. So,
Well, you surely are involved in the community, and the community appreciates it. All right, let's start with a new menu. Let's start with what we got to offer for all the public come this spring.
Well, we've got, what did one of our managers said? Boy, you've got a little bit of everything on this menu. This is going to be difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it's not an easy menu, but I think we're going to be up for the challenge. We've got a beautiful new launch. For sure, the place has been cleaned up. Some obvious flow problems changed. Decoratively, I believe the Gould is in a better place.
Yes.
And
I think the flow problems are really the way that you've changed the lobby and such.
I like the
are gonna
lobby.
work
The
out,
coat
too.
room, I think, is
Yeah.
wonderful.
we, myself, the owners, the management group, the managers that are on staff there, everybody had an opportunity to voice their opinions about either what they'd heard, what could be changed. We really put a lot of emphasis on listening for when I joined the group. And on my part, it was listening to what people were looking for food-wise.
Mm-hmm.
There was an original concept, as we all know, when the large renovation happened, there was no plan. None of us had planned for a financial fallout.
Right.
But it was a beautiful build-out, and that kitchen for sure was built very nicely.
Yes.
So we're refiring up equipment that hadn't been fired in a while. We're looking to grow, expand, staff more people, not less, cook more items, not less. Stop shrinking, start growing is really what we're looking at. And the menu will reflect that. There's no division, there's no rules. You order what you'd like, wherever you'd like it. There's going to be much more of I believe, emphasis on a casual atmosphere,
Great.
but very attentively casual. The food is accessible. We have some great down-home staples. We brought out some barbecue again.
I was going to ask you
Yeah.
about the
I think
barbecues.
for the summer, I think that would be
We
good.
fired up that smoker, and
you?
we
Okay.
tried
Shame
some
not to
specials
use it.
with a combo plate, where you could get some brisket, some pork, a quarter of a chicken, and cornbread, jalapeno cornbread, and our own house barbecue sauce.
Oh my goodness, Jim, this is right up your alley.
Right up my alley.
And the cooks are so excited about that smoker
Right.
being fired up again.
Yeah.
But you know, there's regular staples on the menu, and then some little bit nicer prepared entrees. A lot of appetizers. Everybody loves appetizers and
Right.
small plates. And you know, that bar is going to really start to feel, you know, the influx of obviously the season.
Right.
Yes,
But we're hoping the town.
yes.
Yes.
And
it's
I
a-
think this summer there's so many activities also going on concerning both Women's Rights National Historical Park and the National Women's Hall of Fame. We have induction coming up in the fall. We have a celebration concerning the start of the lake when they flooded. That's going to be in August. You've got convention days. We've got art walk. There's all kinds of things
And all of
happening,
which we
and
are
which all
involved.
brings people to
Yep.
town, and then a lot of them end up at the Gould. They do.
It is a public meeting space.
Yes.
It should be
a
for the public
cornerstone.
use. And,
Right.
and we are welcoming that again.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Open the doors, let people in, give them fair and honest pricing and high quality goods and attentive service.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's great.
And while using local ingredients and
Yes.
Keeping
we,
keeping the money as local as we can.
Right.
Of course.
Obviously, nothing's growing yet.
No, no, no.
I think the frost has just thawed.
Right.
But we just met with a Cornell Cooperative Extension member, and we're talking about the upcoming farmers market, and we really want that to grow as well.
Yes, that's a wonderful asset to the community also.
The farmers market also, or excuse me, the Cornell Extension is also tomorrow night is doing a program in Waterloo on herbs. Come on in and let's talk about herbs. Let's use herbs in our cooking. If you use herbs, you use less salt as a seasoning, and that's going on tomorrow night. And if I put a plug in for them, if you're interested, call 539-9251 tomorrow evening. It's an hour and a half or 2 hour program, and it's well worth it. Cornell Extension does a good job. Okay, we'll get off of that. All right.
well, we're right with you because we're planning a kickoff dinner to the farmers market.
Oh, great.
And that is set for July the 10th.
Okay.
And that will be at the Gould. And we're partnering with them, getting the local farmers involved, being a part of the meal itself, coming to it, and getting to know the local people. So it's open to the public as well as to the farmers. And we'll probably have a couple of wineries and breweries and possibly a distillery that'll be a part of that meal to kick off the market itself.
Now, you have quite a few opportunities to taste wines and those kinds. You have special events for
We do.
them.
Every Friday night, we have between 6:30 and 8:30, we have a local winery in for tasting. We support it. We want people to get to know what we all have around us,
Right.
which is important. And we do have the breweries in, too. We kind of alternate. And we have Friday night entertainment as well. So that's on from 7 until 10. And again, they're all local entertainers, so it's a fun night. Friday nights are always exciting. So, but we do have a lot of events going on that we support and design. The chef will get whenever a nonprofit possibly comes and wants to do something special,
Right.
we'll design the event, take it to the chef then designs the menu that works with it. So we really all get involved in everything pretty much when guests come in for the evening. It's been involved right down to having the servers dance and move around on the fashion show day.
That was
so-
really great.
So
That was fun.
But that's everybody has a part of it, you know, no
Right.
matter what it is.
Right.
So it's great.
Right.
So
You know, you mentioned that you are going to work with the farmers market and buying locally, and I have been an advocate of a thing called slow cooking, which started in Europe, which is basically about eating local produce. And sitting down at the table and enjoying food and talking and that type of thing. So that's right up our alley.
Yep, I'm a member of that as well.
Are
Yeah,
you?
I used to put
you
on
have
some
your snail?
shows.
The slow food movement.
Yeah. You have your little snail?
Yes.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually took a few courses while I lived in Tuscany.
Did you?
Oh, that's
how
great.
wonderful.
It was.
I used to be an overseer at the at Knapp's Winery, and and Slow Foods, the one
Doug and
organization.
Susie Knapp were both
Yeah,
members, and
and
they
I would
supported it fully
set the
when they
menu up
owned
for 'em.
Knapp's.
Yeah.
And then she would make sure that there was a meal each summer, and it was incredible.
So that was.
It's not a fad any longer.
No.
This is how
No.
we do business.
Absolutely.
People are asking me constantly as a chef, why purchase locally? And my answer is there isn't an alternative any longer. We're expected, I believe, as chefs to be purchasing locally.
Yes.
And why are the reasons? Because the food quality is better.
You got
It's a
it.
representation of the terroir of the area. And we need to rebuild our food systems. We really need to rebuild our economy. It's the right thing to do. The list goes on and on. But it usually starts with food quality and partnerships, friendships.
Sure.
Yes.
And the quality of what you're purchasing evolves into the presentation and the food, and everything's better off on a local basis.
Right,
Absolutely.
and why there is such a variety of Italian food, when people talk about regions, that was the beginning, because they used what they could get locally. If they were near the sea, they used fish. If they, if they were in the southern part of Italy, then there was more of what they could grow. If
Sure.
they were in the northern part of Italy, then it was a different food.
There was no transportation of goods.
Right,
It
so
was- they
this is
stayed-
exactly how,
We're reverting, I believe, back to that food system of old, little by little.
you're right.
I don't think we'll be able to feed our population,
No.
Right.
but I believe the local food systems will develop, and they need to develop.
I think they do too.
We just got back from the state of Washington and the
Oregon
Oregon
area.
It's much bigger out there, and of course there's a lot more out there to produce and wise. But yeah, it's the way to go.
Transportation, I believe, is the large question mark.
Right.
And that's where we're starting to see some middle companies transporting the goods from lots of local farmers,
Right.
setting up a website, taking a fee, and getting the goods to the doors of these restaurants. This is a big state.
It is.
I drive down to Ithaca from here to teach at Cultivare, the TC3.
Yeah, we
Oh.
want to eat there. That's-
I'm just an adjunct there, but it's a
Yeah.
wonderful program. And it's a long drive.
Yes.
So if I were a farmer to get to markets, that would be a difficult for time and
Yes.
energy.
Right.
Yes.
So I think we're blessed to have a beautiful state, watershed, lots of land.
Lots
But
of
in
water,
order
yeah.
to develop our local food systems, transportation, I believe, is the big next question.
Absolutely.
How do we get these goods without tons of fossil fuel
Right.
to the sites and leave the farmers on the farm?
Exactly.
They don't.
Because if they have to, yeah.
And
you
they
know.
don't want to spend 4 of their days trying to sell goods
Right.
at sites when they should be on their
Right.
fields, and that's right from them. They've told me that.
One of the things that I enjoy are artichokes, and when you're out on the West Coast, Castroville, where most of your artichokes are produced, they're all over the place. Try to find artichokes here of any quality is you can't do it, right? So who knows? Let us also talk about the wonderful things that have been done at the Gould and
The renovations
what you've
and
done.
what your changes.
Well, I look at it as almost like cosmetic surgery. After a few years of, I relate to fashion and cosmetics.
I
well.
know you do.
So I just, but and they've done some great things to bring it back to almost a warmth feeling. If you've been in the rooms before, they were and they still are, very European.
They are.
Very clean, crisp, that echo, that going green feeling, which guests love. But there's a noise factor because it's wood floors. So we pay attention, the company pays attention to TripAdvisor and what people have to say when they leave. And that was one of them, that just a few things like a rug possibly, and warmth with a little bit of a picture or so, and then changing the colors, keeping the white still being the primary, but adding some gray and softer tones to it. So each one of the 48 rooms have been cosmetically
Oh,
done.
How nice.
Nothing really changing regarding walls or break down anything at this point, but they have spruced it up a bit. The main level, if you've been, I think you were saying that you liked it, Jim, where they moved the desk,
Yes.
which makes perfect sense because when you walk in the door, you want to be greeted with someone, not a white wall or for piece of furniture. So in
Right.
this case, they moved the desk right in front of when you walk into the main lobby area, and it'll be done in the tones like the bar is, the woods.
Oh,
That
great.
coloring, so it'll be much more cohesive color themed throughout the whole main floor. So being that we moved the desk, that's a huge, it's amazing what that one little move does in the change of how it feels in there. It's almost
Yes.
like a different place,
Right.
just by that. But we are not completely finished with that. It'll be done in the next, I'd say, week or so. I think we're on target for that. The restaurant itself, they painted it in a taupe color,
Okay.
trimmed it in black, added a few plants, and then their pictures are going to be changing. Kind of an avant-garde woman feel.
Oh,
Going along the feeling of the women's rights and
Oh,
the park
great.
and so forth. But it's not, it's very subtle in a more artistic way.
okay.
So it's rather interesting. I love the feeling of it. And then the bar, which is probably the most traditional out of every
I think
room,
so.
would you
'Cause it's
say?
yeah.
And they're going to add some high tops in there and take out where the cushion is and the
Alright.
window. So you'll have some high tops. I'm not sure how many did they decide if it was going to go in the window, but enough that you can see people in from the street.
I think that would be wonderful.
Just seeing the
because
people in
even
the
when
room.
you drive by, it's hard to know if people are in the Gould. And we look basically because we love the Gould and we want it to succeed. But you really can't see if people are
And that's
really-
such an odd corner
It
of that
is.
light because people are nervous about that street coming up. So they're like staying focused. So they don't necessarily turn to the left to see
Right,
what's
right.
going on. At nighttime, it's a little easier because you can see the
Right.
people a little bit more so. But I think with that and those few other things that we're doing, I think it's going to be a tremendous plus. I really, really do.
And I
We're
think that
looking
gives you
forward to it.
more seating in the bar.
Oh,
too,
yeah. Now, you know the wall between the bar and the restaurant, that big wall. Now, that will be the second phase. They're really contemplating to take that wall halfway down so you can see into the restaurant
Open
and
it
into
up
the
some
bar.
more.
That sounds
Yeah.
like an
And then they're going to
interesting.
have a high, I think that the high tops for now are going to go along that wall. They've moved the coat racks. So I think you'll see that changing, but it'll be in the next phase of it. It'll probably get through the summer.
Great.
Just because we're getting into the busier season, so we don't want to be under
So
major
people, you
construction.
better come take a look at all this stuff.
Yes.
It's gonna-
Yes,
for
and
sure.
for
And,
people out of
and,
town, please come and visit. Stay at
yes.
the Gould.
Please do. And I do want to invite everyone, if I may, to our open house, which is going to be May the 15th. So
Okay.
please mark your calendars. It's Friday, May the 15th. We'll be doing tours in the sleeping rooms, tours
Okay.
throughout, and Chef Kuhns is going to be showing a lot of our new spring menu, correct?
Right.
All right, so
So-
that's
Can't wait.
only almost a little over 2 weeks away.
It'll be
Yeah.
Friday evening, so check the website. So I believe it's going to be 6 o'clock ish, and then we'll have entertainment, and of course, the flow of the building will be filled with food, so it's all good.
Great.
And I got to just tell you one thing: I've tried the mac and cheese, and that's my favorite. It
Well,
really
you
is.
can't go wrong with
I mean,
mac and
this is
cheese.
real. Somebody told us about that mac and cheese was a big thing at the Gould one time or another back in the day.
So, how are you changing it, the menu of the mac and cheese? Are you just making it the
That's a
traditional
secret.
way?
Well,
Well, I don't know what he did, but it really is good.
It's probably
we've added more comfort foods. It's going to be for sure a lot more casual dining.
okay.
And what's more casual than macaroni and cheese? We've
Yeah,
just
sure.
made a nice bechamel
Okay.
base sauce, a French mother sauce with sharp New York State white cheddar in
All
it.
right.
Which to me is what probably makes it.
Now, when you have that with cracker crumbs baked and the pasta isn't overcooked and the sharp cheddar comes through, it's really great. But when you have the option to take a little pulled brisket that's barbecued in our smoker and add it into that mac and cheese,
Oh my God.
would you take that option? I would.
I
I
did.
would. That's why I knew you were going to have some twist.
So there's a little twist, and I'm seeing mac and cheese more as a vehicle now than a dish. It's
Right,
now
it
become
is.
more
Right.
than
No
that.
question about it.
So I think people will enjoy that, and we're excited to
Sounds-
cook it.
Sounds like it's going to be great.
Yep.
Also, want to give a couple recipes. We were out on the West Coast, and we got a couple of recipes from the West Coast. First of one is we've got some shortbread. I brought
Which we
some
brought
in.
here today. We're gonna
a
serve it to
friend of
everybody.
ours, Sherry, made these. This is a rosemary Parmesan shortbread. They're absolutely wonderful. Of course, it also has a stick of butter in it, which helps matters along a
Right,
bit.
but we have the recipe.
And the recipe is
Yeah.
available out here. And we also, I've got a tuna fish salad. Now, why the hell would I put tuna fish salad on here?
Thank
The
you.
reason is I am promoting the use of good tuna. And what I mean by good tuna is not this tuna in the can in water. This is it comes in jars like this. It is in olive oil, and it's slices
It's called Italian style tuna.
Yeah, and I'm giving this recipe because I want you to try it. And what we're doing here is we're going to make a salsa in the Cuisinart, and then we're going to add this wonderful tuna to it, and you can flake it. And it is so much better than tuna fish with a little mayonnaise in it. It's a world of difference. And so you got both of those recipes available to you.
They're at the end of the show. If you go on and see them,
yes. So I want you to try those. Okay. I also want to mention our trip out to the West Coast. We were in Oregon and Washington. We got tired of the winter. We went down and stayed on the Mackenzie River,
right,
which is outside of University of Oregon in Eugene. And the spring Chinook salmon were running, and they usually run around 14, 15 pounds. You're only allowed to catch one of them, and they are absolutely magnificent at this time of the year. And this time of the year in Vancouver, Washington is where we were. It would the sun would shine, and then it would rain, and it would shine, and
but
back and
the
forth.
best part was that every bloom, every crab apple, every magnolia, all of the wonderful, wonderful budding and all the beautiful, beautiful colors were out. So,
and I was impressed. They have a large Asian population out there, but the Asian cuisine is magnificent. We went to a taste of Szechuan out in Vancouver. That was one of the best Asian restaurants that we've eaten at. The microbreweries that are out there are wonderful. The Pinot Noirs, the wineries are great and producing great wine. So if you ever get out that way, you'll enjoy it. Also, I wanted to update Taste of Spring is this Thursday. It is a major supporter of all the contributions go to United Way, right? You should, and we went to bullhead dinners at Cooney Town once a year.
Sharon even came with us.
Sharon came, and they were good. It's a spring ritual to go and do that. I talked to you about the Seneca County Cornell Crop Extension on the herbs that are available. You should take advantage of that. And upcoming, we're going to be talking about the egg. Sounds simple, an egg.
But you can make it so many ways. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful food. What you can do with an egg.
And to do an egg right, you got to know what the hell you're doing.
It's the most versatile product in the kitchen.
Right, there you go. And we're going to be talking about asparagus. We haven't got it here yet. We've gotten it from the West Coast, but I want to start talking about that. I want to talk about artichokes, even though we can't get them here, damn it. I want to talk about the farmers market. I want to talk about Sodders, the new building at Sodders that is opening up. That's all coming in the few weeks after this. And we surely want to thank you all for coming.
Chris, do you have anything else that you would like to tell us before the program is over?
Just that I'm happy to be in the area, and it's really great to see the town. And I'd been driving through this area for years and years. As a Hobart grad, I came through this area. I live over in Skinny Atlas, so I'm a 5 and 20 driver.
There you go.
And I'm just so excited for this town to turn the corner, I would call it. Turn the corner, and let's start to rebuild, regrow. And the Gould is certainly opening its doors to that whole idea, and I think everybody's ready for that.
Well,
and Sharon, do you have anything you'd like to add today?
Other than the fact we'd love to have everyone come out for May 15th on the open house.
I think sounds wonderful.
I think people will get another feel, and also be watching our websites, because we do events all the time. And one of the things, and I cannot wait again, and one of the most heartfelt time was our New Year's Eve at the Gould with the ball drop. And
yes, that was.
I have to tell you, I hear something about that every single day, and how people are so happy.
We have not celebrated New Year's Eve in years, and that was the thing that we had some people come over, and our apartment's really close. But the fact that it was so close, that it was in the middle of town, and it was continuing, certainly made it that we were going to celebrate New Year's Eve for a change. So
Well, and between now and then, we've got plenty of activities, but it certainly is one to look forward to, for sure.
okay.
And if you want to see our smiling faces, you can come on Wednesday night. We'll be there.
Right, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be
with
back in 2
another
weeks,
program,
and,
and periodically we would like you to come on the show and give us an update of what's
Well,
going on.
thank you, Marilyn, Jim.
All right,
We really
yeah.
appreciate your support as well.
And thank you very much for.
It was
for-
delightful
It's
to
our
meet you,
pleasure.
Chris.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
So until next time, ciao.